Good evening. The hour, they say, is fast spent. I hope you got a little time for me. It's been a while since I've been getting here. I'm here. Those folks out there have been running around, running wild. Some say I'm being quiet, and some say I'm scared. Some say all kinds of things about me. If after 20 years I'm scared, something wrong with that. Something wrong with that. It ain't me. If I went through Irma and still here, you know, let me talk a little bit about the politics. Just a little bit about the politics. And those who aspire to lead this great district of ours. To them I say this. With regards to the NDP candidate, you know, when you got luxury, you could opt to exercise it. To my good NDP friend, he left the territory shortly after Irma. Then had the nerve to say that he didn't see me because I was running around in a Wrangler while he was walking the streets. Two lies. You couldn't walk the streets if you weren't here. I do have access to 2 Wranglers, but listen to this. You see, the truth is something, it's so powerful, you must know it in order to tell it. 1 Wrangler, I can't find a roof since the hurricane. So you could imagine me running around in a Wrangler without a roof. So that's lie number 1. That's lie number 2 because you weren't here. The other Wrangler got blocked in the garage. There was a tree across the road and there was a space through the door. I couldn't get it out. So I was running around for 2 months in a rental. You know what they say. If you don't know what you're looking for, when you find it, how you gonna know you got it? You must know who you're looking for. You're looking for a Wrangler. Look for Julian Fraser, the representative, not a Wrangler. Besides, who needed to see me saw me?
That's right.
The people.
That's right.
My Virgin Islands Party friend. Now, this is a person I'm sure you don't know who they are. Do you? Okay, so what are you afraid to say? You know or you don't know them? I put out a call after Hurricane Irma for help to distribute food in the community center. I put the call out. The call was out many times. Where were you? You could have come, help us distribute food when the people need you. They don't need you now. That's when they needed you. I was the guy on the ground. I was the guy in the swamp up in that community center, a leaky roof, flooded floors, on pallets, distributing food. I did more. When it came to Hurricane Irma, I take a backseat to no one when it comes to looking out for my people.
That's right.
I had teams out there cleaning up. That's boots on the ground. Some of you would remember that slang. Boots on the ground, people out there cleaning the place up. Excavators, backhoes, trucks, all kind of things, you name it. So ain't nobody gonna take me to task for the work that I've done. I've done it. And it's an obligation of mine. I don't feel anywhere doing it. As far as the 2 parties are concerned, please, don't waste your time trying to put the NDP back in, and the VIP is just as bad. Just as bad. You know what they're trying to do? Neither of them can be trusted in the 3rd district. None of them can be trusted in the 3rd district. Ask the NDP what happened to their last candidate, their candidate of 2011 and 2015. A young man who had all the promises ahead of him. Unfortunately, he ran into me. It's a young man I like. He has a lot of promise. But why is it that he's not running with them this time? Why is it that they went and picked someone else up? Because he realized that this is not the right place to be. The leader of the NDP went last general election, he started out saying that if they vote for Julian Fraser as leader of the country, all the trustees going to fly away. Well, I wasn't premier. I saw Father Branch left. I wasn't premier. I saw Ronnie Skelton left. I wasn't premier. I saw Archie Christian left. These are founding members, you know. I wasn't premier. I see Mitch Turnbull left. I wasn't premier. I saw Dr. Prickwin left. And they're not trustees, they're people. So who's worse? Who's worse to lead this country? I mean, if the trustees leave, won't you be glad? So I'm lost. So now I'm going to send you to ask the VIP what happened to their candidate of the last 20 years. What happened to him? How come he's not running with you? How come he ran from you? I wouldn't tell you how they kicked me to the curb, but I'm sure you could figure it out. They should be ashamed of themselves coming into the 3rd district where your man is and asking you to vote for someone else in a position he held for 20 years. Ask them what happened to him when they come out. What happened to Julian? But you know the trick. The trick is that you wouldn't realize that Julian is not running on the VIP ticket and you'll go and vote for the lady with the torch. That's the trick. Yeah. They could have brought Ning in under that sequence. With that scenario, they could bring anybody in. Because you're so stupid, you're not supposed to realize that Fraser is now running for Progressives United, the orange circle, not the lady with the torch. That's what they're hoping on. Well, see, because the people are going to say Fraser, just put their X in there, Fraser. And then when they go home and they see the lady with the torch won, but Fraser lost. How is that possible? It's your fault. Ladies and gentlemen of the 3rd district, Fraser will be the first name on the ballot. A bright orange circle. A bright orange circle. Don't confuse it with no lady with a torch or any family. Make it plain. And when you go to the at-large ballot, you look for that bright orange circle. Can't miss it. I don't have to tell you who they are, but I'll do it anyway. Roger Smith, right here. The bright orange circle. Verna Smith, right here. The bright orange circle. Doc Walters, the bright orange circle. I will tell you about these good gentlemen and ladies, a lady, in a while, but let me move on. You got the gist. A few days ago, the question was asked to me, what are my 3 most cherished accomplishments in the district? And hands down, I said to them, the Nibs estate. And then I go on to B, I said, the developments of Ellis Thomas Downs. And my 3rd one was my ability to provide the residents of the 3rd district with a safe and comfortable access to their homes. Because it's my philosophy that no one should have any challenge or difficulties getting home. So you would notice that most of people's homes are paved straight into their homes. Well, not in the house, but I mean, some people let me get into the house with a little concrete, but I stop at the door. And the Nibs estate, For those of you who has property on the Nibs estate, and that should be just about every young person who was seeking to own land and build a home, their first home in the 3rd District. Especially the descendants of Mama Nibs, or Yon Farbs, I think Henrietta, Robinson, well, it wouldn't be Robinson, it would have been Nibs, but alas, Carrie Robinson. And the descendants of those folks were in category B. The folks whose name I call were A, so they got a fast track to land. And category B, number 2. But the whole thing about that estate was 114 acres of land. And when before I got into office, I sat on the committee to decide who would be eligible for a plot of land. And when I got elected, I became the minister responsible for the subject. So I moved rapidly to ensure that the first 84 people would get their land. I subdivided it, had the land distributed to the individuals, went on to pave the roads on the estate, put in electricity and water. And that wasn't all, because the subsequent administration in which I was in came back and eliminated customs duty for anyone who is building their first home in the territory, which included those people. That's why you were working for your people. So when they come to you and ask you to vote for them, it means that you can't vote for me if you won't vote for them. They not only ask you to vote for them, they're asking you to be ungrateful. My heart said ungratefulness is next to Obia. So you be careful when they come to you. So just ask them, do I know you? It's simple and it's easy. The development at Ellis Thomas Downs. If you never had the opportunity to stand down in the hills around Seacows Bay and look down at that facility, especially when it was in its glory days when it had the grandstand and all that, it's one of the most magnificent sights that you're going to see in the Virgin Islands. Ellis Thomas Downs, right here in Seacows Bay. When I came into office, the running surface was there. But I saw to the grandstand being built, not the little one, the big one. And since I was in office, I resurfaced that running surface and putting aluminum rails around the track. I've been working for you. And I'll continue to work for you if you let me. Don't be ungrateful. Don't let people come just walk in and tell you this. There's nothing that anyone has done for their district that I haven't done for mine. And no matter how they try to hold me down, you could only hold me down for so long. It was Martin Luther King who said to keep a man in the gutter, you got to be down there with him. We're going to check to see who could smell the stench long enough. I'm going to hold my nose. But you can't hold your nose if you got me down with 2 hands. You know you got to keep me down. You can't hold me down with 1 hand, so you got to use 2. I hold in my nose and you smelling the stench. Who's gonna give up first? Tammy. About the safe access to your homes. Look, you know there are people who criticize us for doing small favors for our citizens or residents. I give you a drive where everybody could see it. So they criticize me and criticize you. But when I send their child to college, you can't see it. So they get all of $30,000 of college tuition for that kid. You get a little $10,000 driveway and up your sleeve all the time because they can see it. So I know better. I don't mind. I don't pay attention to these things. I know what I've done for him. I know what I've done for you. You don't know what I did for him, but he know what I did for you. So he's on your back. And I don't come back and tell you, don't listen to him because your secret is safe with me.
Correct.
Yeah, that's true.
Your secret is safe with me. Throughout the years that I've been in this district, it's been a lot of years. You tell me when I'm done whether I've accomplished a lot or a little. And if you say a little, I'll tell you bring the list from the others, let me see it. And you has to be, everything is relative. You can't tell me I'm small if everybody is small. You gotta have a giant look next to me to call me small. When I first got elected, I was bubbling with energy and filled with enthusiasm. And the same way I went to work. We were only 3 ministers at the time, so the family was more closely knit. In other words, you could have gotten more done. I mentioned the Nibs Estate, I mentioned the Ellis Thomas Downs already. But let me tell you, there's a road called Jabot Hill Road. This is a road that connects Sicklesbury to Cullen Hill. It starts at Holiday Inn, just going up there by the 7th school, going over the hill, going around up there. That was a dirt track. No one came to me and told me, please open that road. Please make it a road. I saw the need for it. And I did it. I did it with the cooperation of the landowners, because it was a vision for the opening up of people's estate to them. Access to land is what makes land important. Access to land is what being able to build a home is. And along that road, you could see people have already started building their homes from that road. It wasn't there before I got here. As you can see, it's fully developed. It's paved, and it has electricity. The Albion Bridge, that bridge there by El Mokana. That bridge, one day I happened to go under the bridge, and what I saw scared the living devil out of me. Now, I'm not talking about what was underground. I didn't look, I'm talking about the bridge itself. You know what happens under the bridge. I'm not talking about that. They're just not getting it. Yeah, wake up. There's a lot of things going on. So I took a photograph of it, and I went to the premier, and I showed it to him. I said, Premier, this bridge is going to collapse if we don't do something about it. He said to me, well, what are you waiting for? Well, I wasn't really waiting. I was just letting him know that this bridge is going to get torn down and rebuilt. So I went to work. And all of you are old enough to have seen the monstrosity, the work that was carried out there. Some people even went behind my back to ask him if he knew that I was doing the work down in Sicklesbury. See, everybody trying to get you in some form of trouble or the other, but I cover my bases. So I did that bridge. You know the secret about that bridge? The road from Sills Dry Goods to Gene Nibbs' workshop was almost as flat as a domino. It was flat. But you notice that there's an incline to get over the bridge? Yeah. I heard people saying, oh, he put Sage Mountain in Sicklesbury. But you see, you gotta have a vision in order to get things done right. Now, when the gut comes down, it doesn't block there. Never gets blocked there. And a piece of equipment could pass under the bridge to clean it. So, does your car say, no, I ain't going when you get to that bridge? You just fly over that bridge like you don't know. You're going over that little bump. Now, when we did the one in Parkwood Pond, I wasn't the minister. I was the representative, yes. I did that one too. But no matter how I told the government, raise the bridge, they wouldn't listen. So they built the bridge flat. The same mentality that was used when this road was constructed. You see how flat this road is? Floods every time it rains. Even around the bluff, where they could have kept it up 10 feet above the seawater, they got it down to seawater level. It's a mentality that cripples us. Everybody wants to be, I'm on a flat road. Just raise it up 10 feet and you'll be, okay. So what's the difference if you're down here flat and up here flat? You're still flat. But you're not going to flood up here. And that's what happens with that bridge at Parkwood Pond. Every time it rains, it blocks. And you can't get anyone to go there and clean it because they don't want to go in there. A man has to go in with pickaxe and shovel. And nobody wants to go in there. That's when you don't have a vision. Where there's no vision, what happens? People perish, yes. And all people are perishing. Oh my God, they are. Then you got this road that's going up here. I know what you all call it. I hate to hear that name. So I call it Seacoast Chalwell Road. And the one, the Boundary Road. Those roads were cut before I came into office. They were cut, but they weren't completely paved. I finished the paving. I finished the paving. And believe me, the reason you don't see lights on those roads, I think it's deliberate. Sometimes you need a little privacy, and people get their privacy. Another project, a first in the territory. That sidewalk you see going down there, from Albion Well to Palestina Bridge, that was the first in the districts. If you see sidewalks in any other district beside Rotong, it came after that. All right. Forward thinking.
Yes, sir.
People of Seacoast Bay, don't let these people come here and try to get in between us. That's why marriages fail. You allow people to get between you. We got a good thing going. Let's keep it going. All the lights you see along Drake's Highway from the Dolphins all the way down to Mark Simmons Marina. I remember when I put those lights in. Oh, geez. I put lights to the fish. The first hurricane comes, gonna knock them down. I heard it all. But I wasn't deterred. I remember Mr. Clarence Thomas coming to me and saying, bye, don't listen to them people. My wife glad those lights in because she'll go walking early in the morning. I said, good. You ain't gonna say it publicly, okay, to me privately. But I take the compliment anyway. I take it anyway. I know I was doing the right thing. How many hurricanes came and those lights are still standing? Son, if you listen to some people, I tell you, you wouldn't get anywhere. That's why you see when I came into this district as your representative, I came in with like a bulldog. Because I knew what we endured when I was growing up as a kid. And if you come here to represent this district, you can't be no peer person. I come to tongue and I ain't leaving until I get what I want to go back to my people with. So, forgive me if I appear to be that way, but it's in my genes. It's in my genes to defend people. It's in my genes to protect them, to defend them, no matter where I go. I have to do it. The Ebenezer Thomas Primary School. You know, a lot of things have happened since these times that I'm talking about. But sometimes memories need to be refreshed. Some of the people who are voting, you know, I'm in office for 20 years, so you can imagine that people who are voting were born after I got elected the first time. And they don't stop to think and understand where certain things come from. Remember when we were growing up, all day you're looking for mangoes. You can't get one. But if you go early enough in the morning before the hogs, you find more mangoes on the ground than a little bit. Where do you think those came from? The wind. The wind shook the tree. You must always pay attention to the wind that shook the tree, not the fruit that you pick up. All the younger generation, they come and they're living life happy. To win. That's what they got to pay attention to. The Ebenezer Thomas Primary School. Many of you will remember when we took the roof off it. The long one along the road, next to the road, we took the roof off. Put on a roof, expand the school, and just waiting for the time to come when the need arises for a second floor. All that was done on my watch. The wall around the school, not the one in town for the $1 million. The common fence around Ebenezer Thomas Primary School, where you would notice that that was a prototype for all schools that got fenced. They got fenced after that. Look at the walls, it's the same design. I'm the one who put my neck out to get my school fenced. And then everybody feel that they should have theirs fenced too. Whether it's Altius Catliff, Willard Wheatley, or whatever school it is. You gotta tell the folks, and I'm getting to something with all this. I'm getting to something. When the Ellis Thomas Downs surface was being built, the running surface was being built, we had a softball field on those grounds. But in order to expand the running surface, they destroyed the softball field. When I came into office, I went and I built a new softball field. I built a new softball field. That's the one we have up there. Equipped with dugouts and bathroom facilities. The road leading to the basketball court, going into the stables, I paved that road. The Barry Part Road, if you all know what the Barry Part Road is, that's from the gas station all the way up to Maxwell Apartments. Widened it and paved it. Nanny Key. If any of you remember, before I came into office, Nanny Key was in receivership. It was nothing but a nuisance. Government collected no taxes on it. And the only people that were making money on it were the receivers. You know, Guinness had owned it, and they defaulted and what have you. I was instrumental in the sale of Nanny Key. As Minister for Natural Resources and Labor, it had to come through me. That purchase out there, and look at Nanny Key today. Look at Nanny Key today. It's the largest marina in the Virgin Islands. You see, sometimes when people think, they just merely think about one little aspect of the district, but this district runs wide. It's huge. The district runs from Fort Burt to Fort Recovery. You know, they were so ambitious that the towers were supposed to be in this district. When the boundaries were redrawn, the towers was in this district. But they kick up so much down in the west, and I really didn't want to. I didn't want to overextend myself, so I just stayed quiet, and they got the towers back. They were taking the towers into the Tower District. And the district goes up to Sage Mountain. So when people talk about the district and they see some little things happening, they say, Fraser ain't doing anything. Fraser ain't doing anything. And some of you fall for that. They're asking you to be ungrateful. I want to remind you that I wasn't here sleeping. I was working. I got enemies because of you. So the least you could do is stand by me.
That's right, stand by him.
The Department of Motor Vehicle. You see where it is? It's down in Parkwood Pond. Now, who on God's green earth would think about putting the Department of Motor Vehicle in Parkwood Pond? Yeah, I heard that. It's too far. These are the same people who would leave East End, pass Rotong, go West End to catch a boat, you know. But once a year to go and license your vehicle is too far. You see? Son, I tell you. But the objective is to bring commerce into the area. Rotong is already congested.
That's right, too congested. Yes.
So now people go down there merrily. They take their nice drive down. I mean, the roads are bad. God, I mean, the least they could do. It's the same ministry. The Ministry of Communication and Works. If you ever driven that road, when you drive that road right there by the church, they should at least make it more comfortable for you so you could get on their case. But you're all so quiet, you don't talk about the government at all. That's why, yeah, that's what, soon that would be gone. Listen to this. When I came into office, Pakut Pond, which used to be a part of the first district, had just joined us. When I got in there, not one linear foot of road was paved. None. All the roads in Pakut Pond I had to pave. From Drake's Highway up to Vaughn Farb's apartment. From Drake's Highway up to Juliet Smith's house. From Drake's Highway up to Joan. And you going home comfortable since I was in office. Remember the days when you were swimming in mud to get home. Now it's all different. But I tend to forget these things. Yep. What did Omaha say? Ungratefulness. Right next to Obia. Don't let these people who you don't even know come and corrupt your mind. You've been doing good so far. Keep it up. Yep. Pleasant Valley. The only road that was paved in Pleasant Valley is the main road. All the spurs, I took care of them. I had to pave them too. Remember when this road was like glass, driving the same glass you see now in Rotong, this road was like glass. From the Albion Bridge to Palestina Bridge, this road was resurfaced. Everybody liked to come here to drive just to feel comfortable for a moment. They came down here and drive. You see the reconstruction of the road from Tonic Bar to the Albion Well? You got a sidewalk in there now. These are all things that happened during this time of my tenure with you. Mention was made of that water plant out there. In 1999 when I got elected, I realized that there was a deficit of water. Just as bad as it is right now. There was a water deficit. I got elected, and just before I left office in 2003, that plant was commissioned. It was commissioned for 2 years. Why 2 years? The reason it was done for 2 years is because it was promised that by the time that 2 years elapsed, we'll have the government water system will be up, fully running elsewhere, wherever. NDP got elected in 2003. They did zilch, nothing. They didn't even acknowledge, they didn't even renew the contract. So that plant stayed there. The owners of the property were promised, they had contracts stating that in 2 years the plant will be removed. It's still there. The building is still there. Nothing happened. They closed it down in 2013. The NDP closed it down in 2013 without making proper provisions for you to get water from Sabbath Hill. The Sabbath Hill reservoirs, they can't take all the water that the plant produced at Paraquita Bay. So the reservoirs are running over. They can't get water from Sabbath Hill to Hannah Hill. These are quick fixes. These are fixes that I promise you, the people of the 3rd District, can be fixed in 60 days.
There we go.
Come on.
60-day fix. But you got to have the know-how. And you got to have the interest of the people at heart. People in the 3rd District wants to lynch me. Well, I shouldn't say people, some people wants to lynch me. Before they fessed up to their own shortcomings, they want to lynch me. Here's what the people did. I was elected district representative, yes. But who were the other 4 people that they elect? 4, 3 of whom sits in cabinet. And you here suffering from water. You here suffering from lack of water. And you're picking on me. Why not pick on them? They got more votes than I did. We got to be fair. We got to be honest. All I could ask you now is to do the right thing and vote them out.
That's right.
They're in the government. They wouldn't give you water. They don't care about you. Like I was talking about the people who are opposing me now that didn't show up at the community center or anywhere after the hurricane. Have you seen any of the 4 at-large people that you elected anytime during the hurricane? But you run around saying, we don't see Fraser. I ain't see Fraser. You saw me, I was there. I had a beard and I was wearing a hat. Yeah, I got the photographs I can show you. I had a beard and I was wearing a hat and I lost a lot of weight. Ask the folks who are up and down picking up stuff and cleaning if I wasn't there with them. And people who were distributing food with me can vouch for it. Can't catch a break. Other things happened in the district that were not directly related to what I've done, but they happened. And it happened because people found the district attractive. We had the Simmons Marina was developed since I'm in office. Nanny Key development, as I said, that continued to develop. The owners keep pumping money into it. The boys service station up the road. They could have built that somewhere else, but Seacoasby was attractive to them. Save the Seed Energy Center. Again. Virgin Islands Motors continue to expand. Tortola Auto Group. Another place that came in since my time. On the social side, this district has a clinic. And those of you who use the clinic can vouch. It's a service. You can walk in there, get your blood tested, your sugar count, and all the good things. You can't do that in every district, but you can do it here in this district. At one time, I was a little scared. I was worried about you folks. I saw so many people at that clinic one time. I said, my God, all these people in my district are sick. Ill, not sick, ill. But then I came to find out that they were sending all the people from immigration down here to get checked and all the rest of it. Huh? The district is alive. I'm going to tell you, we got faults. There are a lot of things that needs to be done. I'm going to tell you why they need to be done. There was a fitness gym in that community center. There was a fitness gym. Second to none. I know because I ran the gym. I was there every day, every night. Not just me. My help was there with me. Free of charge. And you know what those wicked people did? They go and tell them that, oh, we just collect money at the gym. We got money. Go check the equipment out in that gym and see if any money you collected could pay for that equipment. So what happened when the NDP came in? They shut it down. They devised a clever plan to shut it down. Between the Minister for Education and the Minister for Health, they started talking about, well, the building is under the Ministry of Health and fitness is under the Ministry of Education, so we can't figure out. So when we figure out which one it should be under, we will let you know. Meanwhile, the padlock is on the gate. So go look at it. All the equipment is spoiled, treadmill, all kind of things we had in there spoiled because of wickedness. Those things will change. If you change them, you the people have to change them. Seacoasby had a budding after-school program, sunflower program, a budding after-school program. You used to, after school, your child, I don't care how old the child was, would spend time there. And adults, especially teachers, would find a place to make a second dollar because they got paid for the time they put in. Adults in the community went there and helped the kids. NDP came in, closed it down.
Out.
The community center, those of you who have seen it lately, thank God Irma came because Irma didn't do it any worse than it was. So now they could blame everything on Irma. That community center was a functional community center. It had carpet on the floor. I know because I put them there. And that center was manned properly. Today, the windows are gone. Listen to this. That center has about 12 windows. All 12 are damaged, gone, knocked out. And the government chose to put in 4. So 4 from 12 is 8, right? So you got in 4 and 8, and 8 is not there. It's madness. And this didn't only happen here in the 3rd district. Even districts where their own people are, they fail to maintain those programs. I happen to be the co-founder of Hon Julian Fraser Save the Seed Basketball League. This league has proven to be the hottest in the territory. And after Hurricane Irma, it has been the only league. As a matter of fact, my wife runs the league along with the committee. And she does it reluctantly because I dragged her into it, like everything else. I don't know how come I keep my marriage. I don't know. It's just, she's like Mother Teresa, except that she don't believe in what Teresa believed in. She got a husband. But seriously, we run the league from the end of August to the beginning of November. Every weekend, Friday, Saturdays, and Sunday. We have 2 divisions, junior division and senior division. We cater to kids 13 to 16 and 17 to, and adults 17 to whatever. And those young men in that league, they felt so lost after our league was coming to a close that they were asking us to have a winter league. I felt for them, but Lord, I felt for myself more. The grind, I just couldn't take it. And it's very easy to walk away from that kind of involvement because it's almost like a thankless job. You don't see the thanks from the young people, but they do appreciate it. And you have to appreciate them. Speaking of which, I crave your indulgence. If I ask my good friend, a devoted individual to what I'm talking about, Mr. McLean, to stand. Give him a round of applause. That's a man who someday will have something meaningful in this district in his honor for his commitment and devotion to the young people.
Yeah.
New initiatives in the district. I have said from the time I came into office, before I came into office, I have a commitment to developing this district to the point where there will be a blur between this and Rotong as far as development is concerned. The difference will be, my good friend here, the difference will be that this one will be organized while yours came without the benefit of time and proper organization. So I've set out to develop the Causeway Harbor. And a lot of things have happened since I started that. I came into office in 1999, 2000, I went to St. Lucia, I met with the secretariat, and then they sent a team over here to do a scoping exercise on the harbor and all the rest of it. Work got done. But every time I go into office and I move the ball, the NDP come in and they stop the ball. I go into office and I move the ball, they come in and stop the ball. But I had I can tell you this. One man I heard in the NDP, Ronnie Skelton, he said to me, it's a good project. He admitted it's a good project. But we need to take politics out of what's good for people.
Right.
The day we are able to do that, not only would 3rd District advance, not only would this territory advance, but the people in the territory would advance. They are keeping you down by having you indulge in what we used to call bad-mindedness. The day should come when that stops. I'm waiting for it to come. I'm getting up there now. And I don't know how much longer I can wait. But I am not seeing it happening. And it bothers me. I hope people like Stephanie, Dirk, and Raja, I'm not going to call Doc. Doc, I think Doc no. Will someday understand what I'm talking about and do something about it. I would like for them to get into the House of Assembly now.
Yeah.
If I am there, to avoid them having to worry so much about being re-elected and concentrate more on helping people. The new politicians, they get into office and they spend their time without guidance. And without that guidance, they feel lost. I am not about that. I'm not about that. I am about helping you. So this project that I'm talking about was supposed to have in it, when completed, 9 two-story buildings for commercial investment, 169,000 square feet for commercial purposes of space, for commercial space. 2,800 square feet of space will be designated to make available for 4 restaurants and a pub, which is to include varying levels of food service from fast food to formal dining. 9 200-foot-long jetties will provide berthing for approximately 125 yachts, including provisions for mega yachts. Water depth to accommodate a draft of 15 feet. 79,000 square feet of office space will be available. A secondary road or bypass will be placed on just a parallel almost to Drake's Highway, so that to service the property, you wouldn't have to use the highway. The investment opportunities are enormous, vast. Laundromats, provisioning for yachts, boutiques, gift shops, office space up to 79,000 square feet, opportunity for taxi services, provisioning of fuel for yachts, 24-hour security service, internet cafe. I could stop there and stick a pin in it when I say internet. What a miserable service we have here. What a miserable service. You know, they got the speed, but you got to pay for it. I don't understand. I really want to know. How does people survive in the Virgin Islands? How? You got a cell phone. You got water to pay for. You got electricity to pay for. You got rent to pay for. Jeez, man. How do you survive? I heard my colleague talking about minimum wage. I hope no one here is on minimum wage. Look, my heart pours out to you folks. It does. Because when you add all these things up, the math, it doesn't work. It doesn't add up. And tell me if I'm crazy, but you can't live without a cell phone. You can't. Unless you're crazy. People need to get in touch with you. You need to get in touch with people. You can't live without it. So let me take you back a few steps. I'm here talking about what have I done. You remember the days when John called you got to be paying?
Yes.
When you meet John, you're cussing him. John, what you called me for? And he ain't looking to get off the phone, you know. So we did this little thing called liberalization. That's where they call me the liberator.
Yes.
We did this little thing called liberalization. And today, that's why you could now own 3 phones. Yeah, you can. When one carrier trying to tighten the screws on you, you just move on to the next one. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. When these folks come to you and tell you to vote for them, they're not asking for a vote, they're asking you to be ungrateful. Remember, another new initiative. You know, in order for you to get from one part of the district, if you want to get from Fort Recovery to Fort Burt Point, you just drive straight through the district. You want to get to Collin Hill, you drive through the district. You want to get from Nibs to Hannah, you drive. But if you want to get from any part of this district to Sage Mountain, like I told you, it's part of the 3rd district, you got to drive through the 2nd district to get there. So I came up with this idea that we need to connect Sage Mountain directly to the 3rd district. So I've done the legwork. I've gone to the survey department, had the map drawn out for the road, which would run from Pleasant Valley to Sage Mountain. Do you know how much land could be opened up to that road for people to develop, for people to get access to the land? Right now, it's a donkey you got to use to get there, or your foot. And this has been going on for umpteen years, and there's no end in sight as to when this is going to get any different. It's someone like me who understands will do something like that. And no one in the Virgin Islands, certainly not in politics, understands more or better the connection between a Virgin Islander and his land than I do. None. That's why I'm proposing legislation to end this nonsense, this craziness of people acquiring land by prescription. I can explain what it means. 2 of you sitting there next to each other, you talk too much. You tell your neighbor, you tell your friend how much land you got and where it is and all the rest of it. The next thing you know, they're in land registry. Searching, find it. Put a notice in the newspaper saying that they want it because of so. My friend said that it should be mine and my grandmother owned. You left the country, you went to Australia to live. You're not going to see this little notice in the newspaper. It published for two times, and you didn't contest it. Your friend got the land. That's land by prescription. Simple as that. The honest should be on that person to find you, serve you notice, and give you the opportunity to object. But no, this is craziness, and no one seems to see what's wrong with it. Here in the Virgin Islands, so many people got land. The land is almost ownerless. And those folks who own all that land up in that area that I'm talking about, the first generation has almost died out. The first generation of the inheritance has almost died out. The second generation is as old as I am. So go figure. This second generation hardly know where the boundaries are. Their children don't care where the boundaries are. And their children only want to know how much they could get for it. Man go up there and mark it out and come back. You go up, you mark out 40 acres of land, you're paying for 20. He don't know the difference. So let's get this all fixed now. We need to. Another new initiative. I want to continue positioning the district for when Rotong, which is about saturated now, has decided to spill over and have its natural growth westward into this district. And that time is here. But you have to understand what it is before you can capitalize on it. I spoke extensively. All the time, every opportunity I get, I speak about it. How this Recovery and Development Agency was created. And it's a farce. And it's now been proven what I've been saying. The Caribbean Development Bank is to the Caribbean what the IMF is to the rest of the world. They're not in your best interest. They're only interested in lending you money and keeping you in debt. And they will do it. And if your leaders aren't astute enough to see what's going on, they will keep borrowing money from the Caribbean Development Bank, keep borrowing money, and Caribbean Development Bank will continue to tie the noose and tighten it around the neck. Tie the noose and tighten it around the neck. I want to read you something that I came across recently. It says, the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, is currently assessing whether the Recovery and Development Agency, this agency was created by our government, legislation was passed to create it, and is supposed to be the agency that handles all the recovery and development aspects of the territory after Hurricane Irma. They've been budgeted $580 million to do this job. And I've been talking about how they went out and they hired this CEO from Fiji who said this and said that. But I'm going to continue to read. The Recovery and Development Agency, RDA, they said that the CDB is currently assessing whether the Recovery and Development Agency is capable of managing funds from the $65 million they loaned to the BVI for rehabilitation and reconstruction. Director of Projects at the CDB, Daniel Bess, made that disclosure while answering questions during the bank's annual media conference in Barbados on Thursday. He said the CDB is now awaiting a report from their team that recently concluded an evaluation of the RDA. Our team went in just 2 weeks ago and have done a comprehensive institutional assessment of that. They are actually preparing the report now, so we are moving to that stage with respect to who manages various components of the project, Best said. They will advise us accordingly on where they, recovery and rehabilitation projects, will go moving forward, he added. The Ministry of Finance is currently the agency in conduct of monies from the loan. The CDB's project director further suggested that the bank is permitting central government to have control over the monies until their assessments are concluded. Asked for a timeline in relation to where the RDA will be handed management of the funds if they are determined to be competent enough, Best said. I wouldn't have to give you a date. The arrangement best between the RDA and the government of the British Virgin Islands is a bit of an internal conversation. What we as a development institution needs to do is to ensure that the RDA is both competent and has the capacity to implement these projects. Once that arrangement is sorted out, and we have done that. What they are saying is that the RDA, which in their loan, the very loan that they give to the government, that $65,000 loan they give to the government, is stated that as soon as the RDA is up and running, they will be the agency to manage the funds, the $65 million fund. Now here he is coming back questioning the competence of the RDA and whether or not they should be given that money to execute the projects. And saying to you at the same time that the central government has been given the authority to use the money. Now all legislation, we passed that legislation saying that the money should be managed by the RDA. The CDB said that they should be managed by the RDA, but they double back now and saying that they're going to let the central government handle the money. That's corruption. That's what I'm trying to talk to you about all along. They tell you one thing and they turn around and do something different. This I find to be an insult to Robert McTavish, who is the chairman of the board of the Recovery and Development Agency. He's the chairman. You telling me that his board doesn't have the competence to manage $65 million? Here's a man who is the managing director of the agency that regulates our financial services, which is competent for a good $500 million a year. And you telling me that his agency can't manage $65 million? This is not true. This is corruption. Where is this money going? Our government knew all along that they were going to be sitting on that $65 million, and to hell with the RDA, which they try to peddle to the people. No, we got to stop them. That's why you see up at the high school, the excavators are busy tearing down buildings that could have been refurbished. And they're busy down at the Sir Albert Georges Plaza, putting on a roof on the police headquarters. These people, you can't trust them, not from your eye to your nose. That's why you need to get them out and put people in there who you can trust. People who will do exactly what they tell you they're going to do. And if they can't do it, they'll come back and let you know before they do something different.
That's the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, our finances. Financial services, yes, is our bedrock. And I am convinced that it's not over yet. People are writing us off. But I think that there's much that we can do. And with Progressives United in office, we will do it. We haven't explored all the possibilities of financial services. We haven't. Opportunities still exist and waiting for someone to come and take it. All these companies that are registered here in this country, they are multi-million-dollar company. They're doing business somewhere. Why not have them do some of that business here? These people are yearning for places to invest. Case in point, 11,500 of those same companies have invested and own 23,000 properties in England and Wales. And those properties alone are valued at $65 billion. Why not find something here in the Virgin Islands to invest in? There are things we need to get up off our laurels and start working. Everybody's talking about diversifying. And nobody could tell you what this diversifying is. These are buzzwords. They sound good. It gives you the impression that these people are bright and they're going to do something. They're not going to do anything. We have a golden opportunity right now where the European Union, which has put a deadline on us to meet a threshold by the end of December, which we did. We passed legislation because they're saying to us that all these companies that registered here, they need to have economic substance in the Virgin Islands, meaning you got to have an office, you got to operate from here and all that stuff. Let's assume that some small fraction of those companies do that. A 500,000 company, let's say 100,000 come here and do that. Could you imagine the amount of employees they're going to need? Could you imagine the amount of office space they're going to need? But I don't think anyone in the BVI is taking them on. I think all leaders think this is a joke. And this is exactly what we should have been doing eons ago, trying to get those companies to see us as attractive enough to come here and do business. But we were raking in so much money for registration that sometimes when your mind is small, a couple of dollars could satisfy you. When the other guys are going with buku dollars, you satisfy with a couple. But you don't know that's chicken feed. What you're getting is chicken feed. The financial services came to us as a gift to enrich our people. Whether it was to enrich you with physical wealth or with education or whatever. You know what? We've squandered that gift by living large and having fun. That's what we've done. Now, one hurricane came and hit us. Every one of us are sitting on our behind. It shows us that we saved nothing and we gained nothing. No one can show me show me a direct benefit from financial services. Show me what it did directly. Did it fund the senior citizen program? Can you tell me that we were taking $1 from each company that registered and we fund the senior citizen program? Can you tell me that we were giving a school lunch or anything like that from financial services? No. That money came, it went into the pot in the treasury where all those parties want to go, those party governments want to go and take it out. That's where, that's how they do. They treat you just like mushrooms. Keep you in the dark and feed you, you know what? You know where you feed mushrooms? No, it ain't garbage. It begins with an S. But you keep you in the dark and feed you with that. That's how they treat you, like mushrooms. So they put all the money that they collect from financial services. Now they talk about money, 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 money. But they can't show you what to do with the money. What they do, the after-school program, cut. The fitness centers, cut. The recreation grounds, nobody to clean the bathrooms and keep the grounds manicured. We used to have those things. So when you hear my opponents come, oh, we're going to establish a senior citizen program, we're going to have a health and wellness program. We had those things. The sidewalks, look at them. You can't even walk on them, the bush, the grass. Where you ever see grass growing in concrete, except for Tortola? You can't walk the sidewalks. The grass is growing up through the sidewalks. I go down there on the sidewalk between Naniki and the guardhouse. Between the sidewalk and the road, you got more grass going up through that than you have on the side over where there's no concrete. Lack of maintenance, don't care. That's what's happening with us here in this country. My colleague that got up here before me talked about fishing and agriculture. I've said before, I intend to introduce to the territory a means to alleviate the deficit in agriculture. It's a means of securing our food, securing the territory with food security we call it. And the way I intend to do that is to introduce greenhouse technology. This greenhouse technology will be put in the most unlikely place, which is Anegada. The purpose of putting it in Anegada is twofold. One, it's a low-density development with a high yield. I'm not going to send 100,000 people to Anegada to work on these greenhouses. You don't take many people. But the yield is so high. What it does is it supplies the Tortola, the rest of the Virgin Islands, and even probably export with fruit, vegetables, salad fruits, and vegetables. You could have all your cucumbers, your tomatoes, your lettuce, and those kind of things grown there. This is not the one for marijuana. I'm serious here about this one. Our import bill for those kind of lettuce and tomatoes and all that money will stay here in the territory. And how does Anegada benefit? Anegada benefit twofold. Not only will it bring meaningful employment to Anegada, but it brings transportation. When the barge goes up, or when the barge comes down from Anegada with fruits and vegetables from the greenhouse, it has to go back. And on its way back, it will be taking building materials to Anegada. And I would make sure, as the government, our government, the Progressive United government will make sure that a man in Anegada pays the same thing you pay on Tortola for a pallet of blocks. And you would see that island flourish. You would see a happy people in Anegada. And you would see a happy people in Tortola too, because we'll be getting benefits from it. That's the same concept that I would like to see happen here in Tortola as well when it comes to shipping. That's why your goods are so expensive. I asked the question, I'll ask it now. I asked it before and I'll ask it now. Why do you have to go to St. Thomas to buy chicken, pork chop and all those things, and the same ship that comes to St. Thomas comes here? Oh, the answer might be they're Americans, so they get a better deal. Okay, what's your answer to this one? Why do you go buy chicken from St. Martin? Last time I checked, St. Martin was farther away from the United States than Tortola was. Last time I checked, they were French or Dutch. We're British. We're closer in relationship to the United States. It's your government that's backwards, that can't see what's necessary to make your life better. Think about it. Transportation. If I got to subsidize transportation to get your goods here, what it does, I saw a man yesterday. He went down on a boat when I went to a funeral. That's why I went to St. Thomas. I got to tell you something about that. This St. Thomas thing. The man had a big bag, folded, like a canvas bag, like how my wife would carry St. Thomas. This is a man now. He got a bag. Me carry no bag St. Thomas to go shop. I mean, I look, call me what you want. I carry no bag St. Thomas go shop. So we went down on the 7 o'clock boat. And I come back up on the midday boat. And there he is. Because we were playing tag. When he bought the ticket, when we went to buy the tickets at the boat, he was ahead of me. When we went to pay for passenger tax, I was ahead of him. When we went to get on the boat, he was ahead of me. When we went to get off the boat, I was ahead of him. So we got to know each other that way. When we go to immigration, well, I got him now. I got him. So coming back now, he said, we together again. Look at me, I got my same empty bag. I went to shop, I didn't get anything, so I'm going back early. So he had to leave Tortola with all Tortola money, going to St. Thomas to spend it. Any government with forward thinking would check this out. Why is this man going to St. Thomas to buy things? He can't buy them right here. So is it the cost of transportation? What is it? Is it because we charge a custom duty while he going to St. Thomas? What is it? Check it out, find out what it is, fix it. But St. Martin now, that's the one that really gets me. I can't stop thinking about how St. Martin got ahead of us. St. Kitts got ahead of us. And you remember the days when, well, those of you who don't remember, those who remember would know. When people from St. Kitts used to come to Tortola to work, people from Antigua used to come to Tortola to work, they're not coming anymore. Their life now is better than ours at home. And I used to have this, all of us used to have the same mentality. Oh, we better than the people from down the island. Go down there. Go take a pass. I bet you will see a totally different picture from what you've been thinking. Why? How did we get here? A bunch of selfish, good-for-nothing running the country. Corrupt. Only care about themselves, don't care about you. And they travel all the time, you know. They see what's going on overseas, but they keep it to themselves. That's why my colleague came up here a while ago and said that we care about the youth. We're going to make sure that they travel with us.
Yes.
Come back home and tell their colleagues what's in store for them, how to move this country forward. That's what this is all about. Progressives United isn't about me. Trust me, it's not about me. You can laugh all you want. People could talk about us talking to empty chairs all they want. But one day, young Stephanie will be talking to a multitude of people.
It's coming.
It's going to come. Young Dirk will be talking to a multitude of people.
Yes.
We're just going to stick to it. That's what we're going to do. We're not taking them big dollars and got these big billboards up. No. Because we want to talk to the people. We want to show people that there are still good people alive. There are still good people who want to run the country. That's us. That's us. Raja, you too. You too. You good too, Raja. You're a good man. Fishing. I said before, we are a contracting party to ICAT, International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tuna. And we got a quota in the fish stock that they manage. 18 years now we've been members, contracting parties. Because in 2001, I went to Murcia, Spain, and watched that agreement when the British government signed on our behalf. For 18 years, no one has touched that fish stock. For 18 years, it's there. I think a forward-thinking government could leverage that fish stock, meaning you can have another country exercise your rights with your blessings. And it costs money. It costs money. Let me tell you, one bluefin tuna can weigh up to 1,000 pounds. And the cost of a pound of bluefin tuna could run $55. So one fish you could get $55,000 from. That's millions of dollars. Not to mention, if you bring a couple back here to Tortola, how many people you could feed with it? Forward thinking. Progressives United.
That's right.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, you've been very good. Captivated. I want you to go now and tell the people of the 3rd District. Those of you who are from the 3rd, tell the others. Those of you who are not from the 3rd District, just tell them. Do not squander this wonderful opportunity that they have before them tonight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do not let this guy go anywhere but back to the House of Assembly.
The house.
These are crucial times, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
This territory is due for a constitutional advancement.
Yes, yes.
Due. Can you see yourself sending the leaders of those other groups to negotiate with the British? These are people who have never been to London. And when I say London, I don't mean on a little trip. All of you been to London on a little trip. I'm talking about talking to the bigwigs. Been to Whitehall, talking to the ministers, negotiating with them. I've been there, done that. Experience is what's going to take you out of this hole that you're in. And you have to pay attention to who you're going to put in that driver's seat. I know for a fact that most of them, if not all, are concentrating mainly on getting their hands on the treasury. Because they have to. They got to pay back for those billboards. And these ads, these voluptuous ads that they're running. Where do you think they're going to get the money from? We don't have a mint. We don't print money. So it's only your tax dollars that goes into the treasury they could take out. I'm warning you. You can't say I didn't tell you. Because if you go back and put them in the office, I, Julian Fraser, is going to be sitting in an easy chair, sipping margarita. While you're bawling, don't come bawling to me because I'm telling you tonight what's going to happen if you put them back in. Don't put back the NDP. Don't put in the VIP. The lady with the torch is going to lead that family. Let them go. When you go into the ballot box, you're going to see this ballot. It's going to have bright orange circle, hands clasped, looking, working together. 9 hands. Each hand represents a district. In a circle, which represents a territory.
Yes.
That's me. The first on the ballot. You put your X to that, or you shade it, you walk out.
Yes.
Say goodbye, good luck. Tell the lady to lead the family out. Okay? And you would have done your job.
Yes.
Tell your friends. When you and you got the at-large ballots, it's easy. Just look for those 3. Aaron, it's one ballot, one ballot. Everything is on one ballot this time. God help us. And don't go home after you vote and buy no popcorn and think you're going to be at some picnic all night waiting for the count. This count is going to be fast. If get your toilet paper and all them things ready. This thing is going to be quick. It ain't going to be no Fraser, Smith, or so in them kind of thing you're going to hear. All you're going to hear is Fraser 748, so and so, whatever the number comes is. That's all you're going to hear. And you're going, holy smoke. Yeah. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a good time here tonight. I think I've covered all the bases. And we'll be talking to you more. I'll be in your houses. Welcome me when I come. I bring my at-large team. We'll tell you more. Good night.